New York City is an iconic destination with loads of attractions that'll empty your wallet, but equally there's a bunch of great things to do for free. But which is the best of all? Most first-timers to the city flock to Times Square, and the lights are certainly impressive at night, but for me, a stroll along the length of the Highline is far more enjoyable, not to mention a quick way to travel 20 blocks without waiting at any lights. But arguably the best thing to do in New York City is the Staten Island Ferry. This half-hourly service runs all day long and transports thousands of people between the boroughs of Manhattan and Staten Island, totally free of charge, making it not just a bargain for commuters, but also tourists who want to hit the water without hitting their wallets. It takes just under half an hour each way, with the departure times meaning you can board and return straight away for a 1-hour round trip. What makes it particularly attractive to tourists on a budget though is sailing past the Statue of Liberty, saving you from paying for a dedicated cruise. But as anyone who rides the Staten Island Ferry knows, Lady Liberty remains distant on this route, so for decent photos you'll need to zoom in quite a bit. It's certainly nice to see, even from afar, but it's certainly not as good as paying to go to the statue itself. But for me, the distant statue sail-by is a distraction to the real value of the Staten Island Ferry for tourists, namely a gorgeous view of the downtown Manhattan skyscrapers from the water. It's such a good view that many scammers will try and sell you a ticket you don't need or encourage you to use a different service, so in this video I'll show you what you need to do and what to avoid. If you're departing from Manhattan, the nearest subway stations are South Ferry and Whitehall Street, but Bowling Green is also close and it's only a 20-minute walk from the Oculus and the World Trade Center if you prefer a short wander. Once you get off your train on the subway platform, just look for signs for ferries to Staten Island. If you're exiting Whitehall Street subway station, you'll emerge at ground level with the ferry terminal right in front of you. There's no way you're going to miss this with the name in giant lettering, but that still won't stop ticket sellers for other services from encouraging you to head to their terminals instead, especially if you mention to them that you want to see the Statue of Liberty. One had the audacity to tell me this wasn't even the Staten Island Ferry terminal and that I should go and follow him instead. I've kind of got respect for that commitment to scamming, given the signage right in front of me. So while there are dedicated trips to the statue, if you're happy just taking the free Staten Island route and viewing it from a distance, simply ignore all the sellers and just proceed directly into the terminal building and up the escalator. At the top you'll see a giant notice board showing the departure times, which on the weekday I visited was half hourly, with more frequent boats during rush hour. Suffice it to say, tourists should avoid busy commuter times and aim for a midday cruise, or perhaps later in the evening. Then just pass through the barrier-free gates and wait in the main terminal area for the next departure. No need for any tickets or payment required. There's also free toilets and drinking water if you need them, along with a few shops. The ferry itself is boarded through one of 3 large doors. These open a few minutes before departure, so just follow the crowds to the next one. The ferries have ample seating and plenty of indoor standing room, at least during non-commuter hours, but tourists should head outside for the view. If you're departing from Manhattan towards Staten Island, you'll want to be on the right-hand side to spot the statue, or on the left-hand side if you're returning from Staten Island to Manhattan. Now, depending on the age of your ferry, you may only have a small outdoor area at the back of the boat, but this will provide a great view of the Manhattan skyline gradually receding into the distance on outbound trips. Newer ferries have longer outdoor decks on the left and right sides, but their front and rear sections may be closed off. The journey takes a tad under 30 minutes, which means you should arrive a couple of minutes before the next departure. You may need a brisk walk or even a short run to make it on board to a return boat in time, but if you miss it, you're only going to have half an hour to wait. Apart from the view, I also love how the ferry gives you a break from what can easily become a very long day of walking around the city, and it gives you a chance to recharge for the next of many sights. So tell me, what's your favourite thing to do in New York free of charge? Thanks for watching, and if you enjoy my travel tips, check out some of my other videos and consider giving my channel a follow. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.